February 28, 2026, to 17 hours. The desert is silent but not empty. Sergeant Daniel Reeves lies prone on a cold ridge of broken rock, his gloved fingers pressed into the dust as if the earth itself might give him answers. The air tastes metallic, not from blood, not yet. From something heavier, anticipation, maybe? Or the distant burn of jet fuel drifting on the wind. Through his night vision scope, the horizon glows faintly green. Iranian territory stretches out in jagged lines of shadow and silence. No movement, no lights, no warning. Command says stand by, whispers Corporal Hayes beside him, voice tight, controlled, too controlled. Reeves doesn't answer. He watches. They've been here 6 hours. No chatter, no drones overhead, no artillery softening the ground. Just waiting. That's what feels wrong. Wars don't start like this anymore. A faint crackle in Reeves' earpiece breaks the stillness. Not a full transmission, just a clipped fragment. Then silence again. Hayes shifts slightly. You hear that? Reeves nods once. His jaw tightens. Something's off. Then, a flash. Not ahead of them but far behind, beyond the ridge. Somewhere in the direction of their own staging base. It blooms silently at first, like lightning without thunder. Then the sound hits. A deep, rolling detonation that punches through the desert and into their chests. Hayes jerks his head around. That's another explosion. Closer, brighter. Reeves turns fully now, lifting his goggles for a split second. The sky behind them is no longer dark. It's a live orange, fireballs rising, twisting, collapsing into pillars of smoke. Their base, their command post, gone. Radio's dead, Hayes mutters, slapping the side of his headset. I've got nothing, no signal, no command, nothing. Reeves says nothing. He's already moving. Training takes over. Instinct overrides fear. He grabs his rifle, checks the chamber for A1, clean, ready. His breathing slows, controlled, but his pulse hammers in his ears. This wasn't supposed to happen. They were here to observe, to wait for orders, not to be cut off. A low rumble builds overhead. Reeves looks up, just in time to see them dark silhouettes slicing across the sky. Fast, too fast. No markings visible in the night. Jets, not theirs. They pass overhead without firing. Just a warning, or a message. Hayes swallows hard. We've been hit first. Reeves finally speaks, his voice low, steady, but edged with something colder than fear. No, he says. This is the first strike. He turns back toward enemy territory, but now the silence ahead feels different, alive, watching, and somewhere in that darkness, something is moving, waiting for them. The shockwave hasn't faded when the ground beneath Reeves begins to tremble again, not from another explosion, from movement. He presses himself lower against the ridge, eyes narrowing as he scans the dark expanse ahead. The night vision scope flickers slightly. Interference, electronic, deliberate. EMP, Hayes whispers. Localized, Reeves replies. They're blinding us. A faint glow appears on the horizon. Not fire, not flares. Headlights. Dozens of them. They move in a staggered formation, low and deliberate, cutting across the desert floor without hesitation. No attempt to hide, no fear of being seen. Reeves feels it then, that shift. This isn't chaos. It's a plan. They knew exactly where we'd be, Hayes says, barely audible. Reeves doesn't disagree. He adjusts his scope. The vehicles come into sharper focus. Light armored transports. Fast, compact, not outdated, not improvised. Modern, disciplined, and closing. A burst of static erupts in his earpiece. Then clearer this time, a voice. All units compromised. Repeat, this is not a drill. Immediate. The transmission cuts. Silence returns, heavier now. Hayes exhales sharply. That's it. We're on our own. Reeves nods once, already calculating. 2 men, limited ammo, no extraction, a known enemy strength, and they're coming straight at them. Fallback position. Hayes asks. Reeves studies the terrain. Behind them open desert, no cover, no chance. Ahead jagged rock formations, narrow passes, elevation advantage. Toward the enemy, he makes the decision fast. We move forward. Hayes stares at him. Forward. That's insane. Staying here is suicide, Reeves says calmly. Out there we're exposed. In there, he nods toward the rocks. We control the fight. Another rumble cuts through the air, this one closer. Reeves freezes. Not jets. Rotors? Low. Slow. Hunting. A helicopter emerges from the darkness, sweeping the desert with a narrow beam of white light. It cuts across the ground like a blade, searching. Hayes curses under his breath. They're tracking us. The beam swings wide, then starts drifting toward the ridge. Reeves moves instantly. Go, he orders. They slide down the rocky slope, boots scraping against loose gravel, trying to stay silent but knowing it's already too late. The light passes just above them, pauses, then snaps back. It locks onto their position. Run, Hayes shouts. Gunfire erupts from the helicopter. Sharp, controlled bursts. Tracers rip through the ridge, shattering stone, kicking up dust and sparks. Reeves sprints, lungs burning, rifle tight against his chest. The world narrows to sound rotor blades, gunfire, his own heartbeat. A round slams into the ground inches from his foot. Another hits Hayes' pack, spinning him sideways. He hits the ground hard. Hayes. Reeves skids to a stop, turning back. Hayes groans, scrambling to push himself up. I'm hit. No, I'm good. Just the pack. The light tightens around them. They're fully exposed now. The gunfire stops, but the silence is worse. Reeves doesn't look back. He drags Hayes forward, boots slipping on loose stone as they plunge deeper into the jagged rock formations. The beam of light fades behind them, swallowed by the narrow walls of the canyon. For a moment, there is only darkness, only breath, only the sound of two men trying not to die. They collapse behind a natural ridge of stone. Reeves forces Hayes down, pressing him flat. Stay low, he whispers. Hayes nods, teeth clenched. His hands shake as he checks himself again. Armor intact. Pack torn open, supplies spilling out. No blood. Lucky, Hayes mutters. Reeves doesn't respond. Luck isn't something he counts on. Above them, the helicopter passes overhead again. Slower this time. Hunting. Listening. The beam doesn't return. Not yet. Reeves carefully lifts his rifle, angling it toward the narrow opening of the canyon. His breathing steadies, controlled. Every movement deliberate. They'll send ground units, he says quietly. Hayes exhales. Yeah, I was thinking the same. A faint crunch echoes in the distance. Boots. Not rushing. Not panicked. Advancing. Reeves lowers himself slightly, pressing closer to the rock. The canyon walls create shadows thick enough to hide in, but only if they stay perfectly still. The sound grows clearer. Voices now. Low. Controlled. Not shouting. Not searching blindly. They know exactly where to look. Reeves risks a glance. 3 figures appear at the mouth of the canyon, silhouettes against the faint glow of the desert behind them. Their weapons are raised, movements precise, disciplined. One kneels, scanning the ground, tracking. Hayes leans closer, barely breathing. They're good. Reeves nods once. No underestimation, no hesitation. These aren't militia. These are soldiers. The lead figure raises a hand. The others stop instantly. Then, a small object arcs through the air. Reeves' eyes widen. Move, he hisses. The grenade hits the ground with a dull clink. Time fractures. Reeves grabs Hayes, shoving him deeper behind the rock as the explosion tears through the canyon. The blast is deafening, compressed by the narrow walls. Dust and debris explode outward, choking the air. Reeves feels the slam into his back, knocking the breath from his lungs. His ears ring violently. For a moment, everything is muffled, distant, unreal. Then the gunfire starts. Short bursts, controlled, closing in. Reeves forces himself up, vision blurred, lungs burning. He fires back instinctively 2 shots, 3 forcing the enemy to hesitate. Fall back, he shouts. Hayes stumbles beside him, disoriented but moving. They push deeper into the canyon, weaving through narrow turns and sharp drops. The terrain twists unpredictably, offering cover but also trapping them. Behind them, the enemy advances, not rushing, closing the distance step by step. Reeves turns a corner sharply and stops. Dead end. A sheer rock wall rises in front of them, smooth, unclimbable in the. Reeves doesn't hesitate. The moment the first enemy silhouette steps into the narrow opening, he fires. 2 shots center mass. The figure drops instantly, collapsing into the dust without a sound. The canyon erupts again. Muzzle flashes strobing the darkness as the remaining soldiers return fire. Contact front. Hayes shouts, though the words feel pointless now. Reeves grabs his vest and pulls him tight against the rock wall. Short bursts. Conserve ammo. Hayes nods, forcing control into his shaking hands. He leans out, fires, pulls back. The rhythm becomes survival. Gunfire cracks through the confined space, each shot amplified, deafening. Sparks burst from stone as rounds slam into the canyon walls. Reeves leans out again, slower this time. He tracks movement, calculates angles. One enemy shifts left, trying to flank. Reeves adjusts, fires once. The man drops, but there are more, always more. A round punches into the rock inches from Reeves' face, spraying fragments across his cheek. He flinches, blinking through the sting, but doesn't lose focus. They're being pinned. Hayes ducks back hard, breathing fast. We can't hold this, there's too many. I know. Reeves scans quickly. The dead end behind them offers nothing except. His eyes catch something. A narrow crevice, half hidden in shadow along the rock wall. Barely wide enough for one man. Easy to miss. A chance. Cover me, Reeves says. Hayes looks at him like he's lost his mind. What are you? Just do it. Hayes doesn't argue again. He leans out, firing aggressively now, louder, faster, drawing attention. Reeves moves. He presses into the crevice, turning sideways, forcing his body through the tight stone gap. His gear scrapes loudly, fabric tearing, metal catching against rock. Gunfire intensifies behind him. Reeves, Hayes shouts, "I'm almost dry." Reeves pushes harder. The gap tightens before it widens slightly, just enough. He stumbles through and drops into a lower section of the canyon on the other side. He turns instantly, searching for a way back. Another opening. There, a small overlook, barely visible. He climbs up fast, ignoring the strain in his arms, the burn in his legs. He reaches the edge, raises his rifle, and fires down into the canyon from behind the advancing enemy. The effect is immediate. Confusion, shouts in a language he doesn't need to understand. One soldier drops, another spins, trying to locate the new threat. Reeves fires again, precise, controlled. "Hayes, move," he shouts. There's a pause. Then Hayes appears, sprinting toward the crevice, bullets snapping past him. He dives through just as Reeves takes another shot, dropping the last visible target. Silence crashes down. No movement, no voices, just the ringing in Reeves' ears and the sound of both men trying to breathe. Hayes collapses beside him, chest heaving. You just split us up in the middle of a firefight." Reeves doesn't answer right away. He scans the canyon one more time, eyes sharp, searching. Reeves is already moving before the echo of the last gunshot fades. He gestures forward, deeper into the rock formations, away from the bodies, away from the noise. "Stay off the open ground," he says quietly. Hayes follows, slower now. The adrenaline is wearing off. His breathing is heavier. Every step sounds louder than it should. The canyon narrows again, then bends sharply to the east. The walls rise higher here, blocking out what little light the sky offers. It feels less like terrain, more like a trap. Reeves slows. Something's wrong. He crouches, scanning the ground. Tracks, not theirs, fresh. Boot prints layered over each other, multiple squads, moving fast, organized, not scattered like a search party. Directed. "They're funneling us," Reeves murmurs. Hayes looks around, uneasy. "Into what?" Reeves doesn't answer, because he already knows. The canyon opens suddenly, not wide but enough. And in the center of that opening, something unnatural. A structure, low profile, reinforced, partially buried into the rock. No lights, no markings, designed to disappear into the terrain. But Reeves sees it clearly. A forward operating site. Enemy, active. Hayes stares at it, disbelief cutting through his exhaustion. That wasn't on any intel. "No," Reeves says. "It wasn't." A faint hum fills the air, low, mechanical. Reeves raises his scope. Movement on the roof. 2 guards, positioned high, overwatch, disciplined, alert, not expecting an attack from this direction. Hayes leans in, whispering, "We go around?" Reeves shakes his head. "No time. They already know we're here." As if on cue, a distant rumble builds behind them. Engines, heavy, not the light vehicles from before. Bigger, closer. Hayes turns, eyes widening. "That's not a patrol." Reeves nods once. "That's the main force. They're being driven forward, straight into the facility. A choice, run and get cut down in the open, or go through." Reeves checks his rifle. Half a mag left, sidearm full. 1 grenade. Not enough. Never enough. But it'll have to be. He looks at Hayes. For a moment, the tension fades, replaced by something quieter, understanding. "No mistakes," Reeves says. Hayes swallows, then nods. "No mistakes." Reeves moves first. Fast, silent, direct. They close the distance to the structure, staying low, using the uneven terrain for cover. Every step is measured, every breath controlled. The guards above shift slightly but don't see them. Not yet. Reeves reaches the outer wall, presses against it. He listens. Voices inside, multiple, calm, unaware. He pulls the pin on his grenade, looks at Hayes. A silent count. 3, 2, 1. Reeves steps out and throws. The grenade arcs cleanly through a narrow opening, disappearing inside. A split second of silence. Then the blast tears through the structure. Reeves moves instantly, pushing through the entrance with his rifle raised. Inside, smoke, dust, shouting, figures scrambling. One turns. Reeves fires. The explosion is still echoing when Reeves steps inside. Smoke fills the corridor, thick, choking, alive with dust and shattered concrete. The blast has torn through the entry chamber, leaving bodies and debris scattered across the floor. But not everyone is down. A figure stumbles through the haze, weapon half raised. Reeves fires. The man drops before he can aim. "Left," Hayes shouts. Reeves pivots instantly. Another soldier emerges from a side passage, disoriented but reacting fast. Hayes fires first, this time 3 controlled shots. The target collapses against the wall. For a moment, it's just the sound of gunfire fading, replaced by something else, a steady electronic hum. Reeves moves deeper into the structure, stepping over debris, scanning every corner. The interior is tighter than expected, low ceilings, reinforced walls, narrow corridors designed for defense, not a temporary outpost. Permanent, planned. Clear right, Hayes mutters, checking a doorway. His voice is steadier now, focused again. Reeves nods and advances. They pass a small operations room, map scattered, a flickering monitor still active. Reeves glances at it briefly, and freezes. Coordinates, multiple, marked across a wide region. Some of them, familiar. To familiar. Airfields, supply depots, forward positions, their side. This wasn't just about us, Reeves says quietly. Hayes looks over his shoulder. What do you mean? Reeves doesn't answer directly. He doesn't need to. This strike, the one that wiped out their base, wasn't isolated. It was synchronized, planned across multiple targets. The realization settles in like weight. This war didn't just start. It was prepared. A sharp noise cuts through the corridor. Metal. A door slamming shut deeper inside the bunker. Reeves raises his rifle again. Movement ahead. They push forward, slower now. More careful. The corridor narrows into a reinforced section, heavier doors, thicker walls. The hum grows louder here, vibrating faintly through the floor. They reach the end. A sealed door. Not blown open. Locked. Hayes gestures toward it. That's where it's coming from. Reeves studies it. No keypad. No handle on this side. Controlled from within. Or remotely. A faint sound leaks through the metal. Voices. Urgent now. One of them sharper than the others, giving orders. Reeves steps closer, pressing his ear against the cold surface. He catches fragments. Launch window. Confirmation from command. Final sequence. Reeves' expression hardens. Missiles. Hayes sees it instantly. They're not done. Reeves shakes his head. No. That was just phase 1. He steps back, scanning the door again. No time to breach properly. No explosives left. Just one option. He turns to Hayes. We force it. Hayes looks at the door, then back at Reeves. That's not a door you just force. Reeves raises his rifle anyway. We don't have a choice. A sudden mechanical click echoes from inside. Both men freeze. The hum intensifies. The rumble deepens, low, mechanical, unstoppable. Reeves doesn't wait. He steps forward and fires at the hinges. The shots echo violently in the confined corridor, sparks bursting from the reinforced metal. The door doesn't give. Again, Hayes shouts. They fire together, now controlled, deliberate aiming for the weak points. The metal groans under repeated impact, but it's built to hold. The rumble beneath them grows louder, closer. Time is running out. Reeves steps back, breathing hard. He looks at the frame, not the door, studies it. Then he makes a decision. Move aside. Hayes doesn't question it. He presses against the wall. Reeves backs up 2 steps, then drives forward, slamming his full weight into the door near the damaged hinge. A dull crack. Not enough. He hits it again. Pain shoots through his shoulder, but he ignores it. A third hit. The hinge snaps. The door shifts, just slightly. Again. Hayes yells. Reeves grits his teeth and slams into it one more time. The door gives. It swings inward just enough. Reeves forces it open the rest of the way and steps through. And stops. The space beyond is massive. A vertical chamber carved deep into the earth, lit by harsh industrial lights. Steel platforms line the walls. Cables and machinery snake down into darkness below. And at the center, a missile. Tall. Armed. Rising slowly from a reinforced launch cradle. Heat shimmers around its base as systems come online. Reeves feels the air vibrate in his chest. Hayes steps in behind him and freezes. Oh, God. Technicians scatter below, shouting, abandoning stations. Some reach for weapons but hesitate, caught between defense and escape. Reeves raises his rifle, scanning fast. Too many targets. Too little time. A digital display flashes along the far wall. A countdown. Less than 2 minutes. Can we stop it? Hayes asks, voice tight. Reeves doesn't answer immediately, because he already knows the truth. Not in time. Not from here. His eyes move, searching for anything. Control panels. Access points. A way in. Then he sees it. A narrow maintenance ladder leading down along the side of the chamber. Exposed. Dangerous. Direct access to the base of the launch system. To the fuel lines. To the core. Hayes follows his gaze and understands instantly. That's suicide. Reeves checks his remaining ammo. Not enough for a prolonged fight. This isn't about fighting anymore. It's about stopping what's already started. He looks at Hayes. For a moment, everything slows. The noise fades. You stay up here, Reeves says quietly. Hayes shakes his head immediately. No. No, we go together. If we both go down, no one gets out, Reeves cuts in. Calm. Final. Hayes' jaw tightens. He knows he's right. Doesn't make it easier. The countdown continues. 90 seconds. Reeves moves toward the ladder. Below, one of the remaining enemy soldiers raises his weapon, hesitates, then fires. The shot cracks through the chamber. Reeves grips the ladder and starts climbing down anyway. The ladder vibrates under Reeves' weight. Every step down brings him closer to the heart of the machine, and the heat rising from below. The air grows thicker, sharper, filled with fuel vapor and burning metal. Above, Hayes fires. Short bursts, controlled, keeping their heads down. But it won't last. Reeves doesn't look back. 60 seconds. The missile looms beside him, now towering, alive with energy. Panels glow along its surface. Internal systems hum with cold precision. This isn't chaos. This is execution. Below, a technician scrambles toward a console, hands shaking as he tries to override anything. Another soldier spots Reeves descending. Their eyes meet. For a split second, neither moves. Then the soldier raises his rifle. Reeves reacts faster. One shot. The man drops. The technician freezes, hands in the air now, fear replacing urgency. Reeves hits the bottom platform hard. The heat is intense here, rolling off the launch core in waves. Warning lights flash red across every surface. 45 seconds. He scans quickly. Fuel lines. Primary ignition system. Control relays. Too many systems. Too complex to shut down cleanly. So he doesn't try. He reaches for the grenade clipped to his vest. His last one. Above, Hayes' voice echoes down. Reeves, we're out of time. Reeves pulls the pin but doesn't throw it yet. Not blindly. He moves closer to the base of the missile, ignoring the heat biting into his skin through the uniform. He spots a junction, multiple fuel lines feeding into a central manifold. Critical, unprotected, exactly what he needs. 30 seconds. Gunfire erupts again above. Louder now. Closer. Hayes is losing ground. Reeves doesn't look up. He wedges the grenade deep into the junction, forcing it between the metal lines. This has to be enough. It has to be. He steps back, then hesitates. If the blast is too strong, it won't just disable the missile. It'll detonate everything. The fuel, the structure, the entire silo. Hayes, himself, everyone. A choice. Finish the mission, or try to escape and risk everything. 20 seconds. Reeves closes his eyes for half a second, then makes the only decision he can live with. He turns and sprints for the ladder. Hayes, move, he shouts. Above, Hayes doesn't argue this time. He falls back immediately, firing as he goes. 15 seconds. Reeves climbs faster than his body wants to allow. His arms burn. His lungs scream. Below, the grenade sits silent, waiting. 10 seconds. Hayes reaches the top platform, turning for one last burst of covering fire. Come on, he yells. Reeves pushes harder. 5 more rungs. 8 seconds. The chamber shakes violently now. Systems reaching critical thresholds. 6 seconds. Reeves is almost there. Then, a deafening explosion erupts below. Not from the missile. From the grenade. The blast rips through the fuel lines, sending a shockwave upward through the silo. Fire erupts instantly, consuming the base in a violent chain reaction. Reeves is thrown from the ladder,